from that point on, from Isurava back to Isurava, it took 3 weeks. And we were in constant contact every day, of course, for 3 weeks. In the rainforest proper, because the canopy above is so thick, there's very little light and sunlight to allow much growth. There is very low undergrowth, maybe 2 foot high, but very sparse, so one can walk anywhere.
Where did you head to from that engagement? Where did it lead you from there?
Well, from Alola, the fighting was taking place at Isurava and Abereri and right across, and in the vicinity of brigade headquarters, etc. That about 2 nights later, or maybe a night later, we withdrew at night because Brigadier Potts wanted to occupy some high ground which was relatively close, rather than be in the exposed position, because the Japanese were outnumbering us 5 to 1 and could simply engage us and then move around us. And had they been able to cut us off, that would have been absolutely the end of the 21st Brigade. But so we moved out at night. Now my platoon was the last platoon on the track. Moved out 11 o'clock at night, or we got there about 11 o'clock. We had to move in single file up this slope to get on this very high ridge. What people would do they'd pick up a bit of fluorescent bark in the rainforest and put it in their belt at the back, so you could see the chap in front. You're only a yard apart, but you'd see they all had a bit of something which phosphorescent, and that happens all the time in the rainforest. Anyway, we were the last platoon on the track when they occupied the positions. Now, it was a track only about a maximum of, say, 20 yards wide. And I, being the lieutenant in the platoon, I simply formed them in a ring. They have a perimeter, 2 men, each 2, say 4 yards apart in the circle. One of each party of 2 has got to stay awake for 2 hours. Then they wake up the next 2, and that goes on throughout the night. So you've got sentries on. During the night, they must have all gone to sleep. The 2 that should have been passing the message on failed to do so. I woke up, I'm the platoon commander, I woke up at bright sunlight. Must have been about 7 o'clock in the morning or something. I look around and the whole platoon's sound asleep. There was a log across the road 2 feet above. I looked over the log. Here's Brigadier Potts, Brigadier, in charge of 3 battalions, lying with this ground sheet around his shoulder, around him, nothing else, sound asleep. Now, being a lieutenant, I wake up the platoon first, so they were all alert, etc. Then I woke him up and he went back to brigade headquarters. Obviously, during the night, he'd come down to see the dispositions of the various companies, would have probably thought he had a company of head. Instead of that, it was simply this platoon, and they'd gone to sleep. He went back. About less than half an hour later, I had Laurie Crofts from Fremantle standing with an Owen submachine gun on the track because there were a couple of bushes on either side. But he had a Owen submachine gun. He was there while we were getting ready because they were going to continue to move. 2 Japanese came not walking up the track, trotting. They'd thought that the whole battalion had moved, obviously, back further. He fired at them from just a few yards. There was a steep drop on the other side and then more vegetation, and they either fell or they fell down into there. Whether they were been wounded or killed, I don't know. But very shortly after that, we got the order to withdraw to a higher position.